Irish people like to say, well, we're not racist because, you know, we went to London, we went to New York, we went to Boston, we experienced racism. You know, I know you had, we talked about it in a previous program, and it's like no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. And it's like, well, we can't be racist then. But it's that subtle racism.
Oh my God.
And
not so subtle.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and it's that unconscious bias. As Leon said, I remember, you know, used to work in radio, and it would be that, oh yeah, I'm going to come and interview you. My name's Lisa or whatever. And then you come up and you go, oh, you're Lisa. Oh.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that subtleness.
You sound white.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, yeah.
Would you think it's fair to say that you found the last, since the George Floyd murder, like traumatic? Because that's what, you know, reading and talking to you, that's what I get from it. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I still haven't watched the video.
I haven't either, but because I felt voyeuristic or something, even though part of me felt I should watch it because you have to say something. I read the transcript though, and that was...
It was enough.
Oh God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's stunning in the worst way, I mean.
Yeah. So definitely was an awakening for me. I journaled everything that I'd experienced, and my partner, we've been together a very long time, and he's white Irish, and he said to me, you know, Lisa, do you not remember that situation? Do you not remember that taxi drive? And my dad's a taxi driver, and when he was a chef before, when he moved into being a taxi driver, I got really, really anxious all of a sudden. And I suppose it was that awareness that, like, he's putting himself out there, and I know that there's racism in Ireland.
But are you saying that your boyfriend was listing off incidents that you didn't...
I had blocked from memory, from trauma, or, you know, those subtle, covert or blatant racism remarks throughout our years together. And I suppose you'd get it from both angles as well. You'd walk down the street and you'd get it from Nigerian women looking at us holding hands and stuff like that.
Because you're a mixed race couple.
Yeah. I do think it's better now. I guess, again, I was growing up in the very early 90s where there was very few black people around. My dad was always saying, you know, he used to get all the token jobs in Fair City as the extra drinking a pint in the background. But it's gotten much better, but there's still that covert examples. And I guess that's where I had that awakening. I was like, I started journaling and I heard the stories of people in America, in the UK. And then I realized, you know, that happened to me too. Yeah. I do have to Google when I go to a place.
What's the story about the aptitude test in school?
Oh yeah, so I remember when I was going into secondary school, you know, you have to do these aptitude tests before you go in, and they realise your level. And I was doing a verbal test, and the teacher, I think it was a nun, and I went to a Catholic school, and she said, "Is English your first language? It must be your second language." And that trigger for me, probably unconsciously throughout my whole childhood, or going to secondary school on to university, was, am I good enough? Why would they say that to me? Not connecting it back to maybe race. I went on to study journalism, went to study communications in DCU. So maybe it was an unconscious decision that I made, was like, I need to prove a point here. But then I went for a job interview last year, and internal job interview, and they asked me to do verbal reasoning test, and I couldn't sleep for a week before it. Then George Floyd's murder made me realise, why are these things happening? Like, you know, I started to document it and realise, actually, this is all connected to those little covert examples of racism.